Hello everyone, this is Donna Creef and Willo Kelly here with the latest edition of The Real Breakdown.
I call it the Realtor Scoop podcast.
Yeah.
Yes.
So anyway, here we are. It's August and this is the latest edition of our video. So the first thing I want to talk about this morning is Rodanthe in Buxton and the significant erosion that's been going on there. Last Friday we had another house collapse into the ocean. That debris has been scattered along several miles of the beach north of Merlot. Usually it goes south, but because we've been having all the swells from the storm, it has gone north. And so that was one saving grace of the heavy surface, that people weren't out swimming, but that debris is being actively cleaned up by the National Park Service. We've also received news the week before that the Park Service had closed another area of Rodanthe due to septic washed out. So this house collapsing wasn't unexpected. The house had been decertified for occupancy back the early part of August, and so the local officials were not surprised that it's collapsed.
This was one of those imminently endangered
structures, yeah. So, as the news coverage always is they imply that these structures have been built without regard for development rules, when in fact this house was built in 1973 before CAMA was even in place. I did have a call yesterday from the Dare County Planning Department, and they said that they were going to be sending out 13 more letters to the property owners along that stretch there. They've done assessments, and the houses have damage, but it wasn't damage enough to prompt an unsafe structure posting. But they felt that it was proactive to go ahead and reach out to the property owners and say, hey, your house needs some repairs. Contact the building inspector, and they're also advising them to contact their property managers about how they should handle the rental of their homes during the repairs to the house. And
absolutely, and that's where we've had a great partnership with the Park Service, Dave Halleck there, and his staff, in working together and bringing attention to this to the property managers in that area, because we want everybody to be safe first. We
want everybody to be safe, and what the county planning director was telling me yesterday is that he's in contact with the property managers, and that some of them are saying that they've blocked out the rental of those homes until the end of September. So they seem like they're being really proactive. Good. There was a news story yesterday with the property owner whose house collapsed, and he made the comment, well, the realtor didn't tell me, or the real estate agent didn't tell me about the erosion in the area when I bought the house. And so that really struck a nerve with me. I don't know, I'm thinking that they probably did tell him about the erosion, but property owners have a responsibility to do their own due diligence. But I'm going to remind everybody that if you're dealing with homes in Rodanthe or there in Buxton and you know that it's a hot spot, please have those conversations with your clients, because it's just really important, because we're the ones that are being faulted in the news media, and so they need a scapegoat.
And responsibility on the buyer as well. And we've had this conversation before, and if you're buying the home and there's water under the house, ask those questions and do a little more research, because it does shock me and surprise me when somebody says, well, I just bought this house a year ago, and you knew where the sand was a year ago, and it's just I don't know. It's a roll of the dice. It is.
And again, the issue is with the National Flood Insurance Program and not allowing them to make those claims when those houses get that determination. But anyway, that's a whole nother topic that we talk about a lot of time. So Labor Day is almost here, and after Labor Day, the local campaigns for Board of Commissioners will be picking up. Willo and I will be doing interviews with the local candidates for the Dare County Board of Commissioners. We'll be starting them in mid-September, so that should be pretty interesting. Instead of doing the written questionnaires, we're going to try something new this year and do videos that we're going to share with our membership starting and probably in mid-October, before the early voting starts, so everybody can educate themselves about who these folks are that are running for office and who's running for re-election. It'll be interesting to hear what they have to say about the issues that are important to the real estate industry.
And this is a great service to our members. They can vet the candidates before they go to the polls to see where they stand on issues that affect their business, that affect their clients. So it is a great service that we do for our members here.
Right, and I'm not going to be sending them questions in advance. I'm just going to have a conversation with them and see if they know what issues are important to us. I think that's
because you should be able to handle a question right off the cuff, right?
I think so. I think that's
just like we do.
That's the metric I'm going to be using anyway. Also, this week, the Currituck Board of Elections has approved a petition from Mr. John Snowden as a write-in candidate for District 4 up in Currituck. District 4 is the area that's south of Tulls Creek. It includes the communities of Sligo, Sharborough, and Currituck. So write-in candidates are always interesting. This sets up Mr. Snowden as the opponent to Janet Rose in the November election. Her name will be the only one on the ballot since he's a write-in candidate. So people will actually have to write his name in.
Oh my goodness.
And then it comes down to, did they write his name in correctly? And so it gets to be pretty interesting. So
those are tough races.
Yeah. Well, it's hard to get the petition approved, and I think he had some obstacles that he had to overcome. He's citing his motivation to run for office as the poorly planned growth in the Moyock area and increased property taxes. That seems to be a motivator for a lot of folks that run for office, property taxes. The other thing I want to touch on is I serve as the chair of the Dare Community Housing Task Force. And earlier this month, we heard a presentation from 2 ECU professors who will be conducting a study of NIMBYism.
Not in my backyard.
Yeah, and workforce housing. So they had reached out to me and wanted to coordinate with the task force in helping identify people that they needed to interview, the stakeholders in the community. They'll be doing some online survey questions and a series, I think they said 8 community meetings to try to gauge community attitudes about workforce housing and you know, how people feel about that, you know, declining property values, increased density, traffic.
Or just housing options other than single-family housing.
Yeah, and so you know, with NIMBYism is a you know, with my background, with my background in land
but
use,
nobody wants it in their backyard.
Yeah, I was, you know, when they reached out to me, I was like, oh yeah, this is right up my alley. I'm looking forward to this because in my mind, NIMBYism is not just workforce housing; it covers all bases.
You're a little excited about that, Donna.
I am. You know, and it's East Carolina University, so go Pirates!
There you
go. And that's all that I've got. Wow. What do you got to add? We had a good meeting the other day.
It was a very big meeting 2 days ago, the general membership meeting on August 21st. Great attendance, 140 folks.
Full house.
Attended, at Captain George's, and we covered a lot of things. We had that panel discussion on the NER settlement agreement, what's happening. President Richard Tolson and I are going to be doing a video just on the issue of concessions.
Yeah, and that had a lot of discussion the other day.
And what we do here, you know, as the association, what's the association do? Well, we're here to serve our members and to help them be successful. And with these new changes, with NAR and the settlement agreement and compensation being taken out of the MLS, we're offering many opportunities this fall. One of the biggest ones is a 2-day course for accredited buyer's representative course that Stephanie Walker will be doing on October 8th and 9th, and we are offering that for free. That's typically a $295 class. We have that. We have free CE in September. We're going to have Volunteer Appreciation Day here September 20th, and then the other big event is our CYA Summit.
Yes.
Thank you, Debbie Rennell. CYA Summit with Lee Brown. That's right, because we all need to cover our assets. So CYA Summit, keynote speaker Lee Brown, that's going to be on Thursday, November 14th. We just got word that we are moving that from the Kitty Hawk Pier into the Kitty Hawk, the Hilton Garden Inn and Kitty Hawk into the ballroom. So that will allow for more attendance. We'll have
that's good.
From 1 to 5, we have sessions such as Has the Dust Settled or Has It Just Scattered? More information about the real estate landscape 3 months into the NAR settlement agreement. Paving the broken road to short-term rental closings. That's right, the Vacation Rental Act, the Vacation Rental Addendum, breakup fees. Oh my, this is not the land of Oz, people. We'll have panelists. I love a play on words, right? We'll have panelists discuss how to improve the process of short-term rental closings. So this will be for brokers and property managers to get together, to network, to communicate. All sessions are going to be interactive, and there'll be Q&A. If real estate is your profession, we always say politics is your business.
That's
and
right.
We'll have our government affairs director from Raleigh join us and talk about some of the things, because what happens in Raleigh doesn't always stay there, as we found out with septic rules and whatnot. And then real estate scams are on the rise. I'm getting calls, once a week. Don't be the next victim. You've heard it through the grapevine. Hear from those that have experienced the headaches, heartache, and near heart attacks from being a real estate scam victim. So protect yourself, know your value. Again, November 14th at the Hilton Garden Inn Ballroom. Tickets are $50, but they go up to $70
And
after
at least
October
high
14th.
energy, so it should
High
be,
energy,
it should be a good day.
great.
Good
It'll
event.
be a great event. She's the keynote speaker. She kicks off this, so we would like to encourage everyone to attend. And as I already said, you know, Donna, if you don't have a seat at the table, you're likely on the menu. We
That's
thank you very
right.
much for the seat at the table on the Housing Task Force. And if real estate is your profession, politics definitely is your business.
That's right.
So follow us on Facebook, on Twitter, Instagram. We have a closed Facebook group just for members.
We're everywhere.
We're everywhere. We're everywhere. And we're on YouTube.
Nationwide.
So you got to subscribe to our YouTube channel to make sure you get notification about our Realtor Scoop podcast, The Real Breakdown. So
Thank you so much.
thanks.
Stay safe, everyone.